What's up, Stock Twist Nation? We are back at the Gateway Conference in San Francisco. I'm here with Chris Zhang, VP of Corporate Development and Strategy at Maison Solutions. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. I know you have a busy conference schedule. So for investors here today who might not have heard of you guys before, what's the Maison story? What are you building? How do you fit within the grocery landscape?
Sure. So we're a specialty grocery store catered to the Asian Americans communities in the U.S. We're a domestic company, 100% domestic operations. And we want to bring, we started by bringing, groceries and, fresh produce to our Asian populations. As we grow, we also want to bring the same experience to, the wider minority populations in the U.S. So that's basically our mission to accomplish.
Interesting. And how many locations do you have currently and regionally? Where are those located?
So right now, under our Maison Holding brand, we have 6 stores in total in operations. There are 3 in Southern California and 3 in the state of Arizona.
And I think I read that you might have some aspirations to actually come inland to the Midwest. Can you tell me a little bit about expansion beyond where you're at currently and how you think about where you're going to open or acquire your next store?
Yeah, definitely. So our focus to, shift to kind of Midwest, Southwest region is very international because, as people may know, we grow our company mainly through acquisitions. And we want to, always look at the places where, the communities are underserved and there's a, opportunity for us to come in. So we want to look at, the store at the places where, the store already proven to be, profitable, with consistent profitability, with heavy consumer traffic, and of course, a loyal shopper base. Because we think there's a big region outside of California and Arizona where, people deserve a better shopping experience, deserve to have, all those popular products, like our customers in, California and Arizona. So that's kind of how we, envision the next step, to kind of start shifting our focus to, the Midwest and Southwest. Ideally, we want to look at the stores where, size-wise, we want to look at larger ones like 50 to 60,000 square feet, large enough to, cater, breadth assortments to, the various shoppers, the shoppers with various, ethnicity background. We want to look at the demographics where there are multicultural communities being served because we believe our product mix resonates strongly in those markets. Finally, we want to look at the stores with operations that can quickly modernize and integrate it into the Maison brand, meaning they already have a good foundation or infrastructure so that we can further benefit from the Maison's brand, technology advancement, or supply chain capabilities.
You started to answer something I was thinking, which was a question around is the advantage really in the back office operations that you take over or the brand? It sounds like it's both.
Yeah.
When you acquire these companies, what's involved in bringing them into the fold? And I guess what advantages with that scale can you bring? Why are you more powerful as a collective?
So I think there are 2 things I wanna point out. One is the supply chain empowerment. So as you bring in more stores to the portfolio, because even if in different regions we have slight different consumer base, right? For example, in Southern California. There are more like a Chinese Americans that shop in our stores, but in Arizona, the biggest community is the Vietnamese. So we tend to cater the products a little bit different, but also meantime there's a big overlap. So with more stores we bring in, we can have a huge advantage when purchasing with from the vendors. We can have because the volume would be bigger, right? We can do bulk purchase for all the stores or a group of stores that in the close by locations. So they're like a better pricing, and a better payment terms, right? And also because as we order more, the vendor also would put us in a preferred client list. Sometimes we get like a quicker delivery, things in that in those areas. So definitely, we'll see the synergy like across the stores, and also we can increase the cross store sales to further reduce the waste. And essentially, all these benefits would go to the consumers, right? Because as more we save, the more the consumer saves. The second thing I want to say is leveraging technology, right? Leverage technology. You usually get a lot more benefit, or a benefit at a scale when you have more stores to join the program, right? For example, if we only talk, what are some of the hottest technology on the market, right? Artificial intelligence, blockchain, all that. Even though people traditionally may think, these are so far away from our business or our industry, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of good use cases that can be implemented, within the grocery industry. And I think with with more stores, coming in, I think, they can all benefit from, utilizing the technology and, further help the store, with higher margin, more efficiency.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the tech. A lot of our investors obviously follow tech trends, and they might be listening to this thinking, this sounds very interesting and cool. How do you compete with consumer behavior where people can order a lot of things on Amazon, right? Or how do you compete with a Walmart? And I'm curious how you would articulate where you fit in someone who's looking to go and experience one of your stores. What is that need state that they have, and how do you see that being a growth driver moving forward?
Right. So first of all, I would never say, stores like Walmart is my competitor. Yeah. Because, size-wise, it's just, I don't think there's a comparison out there. We want, we have a niche market, and we find, this is the market that we want to serve. These are the, consumers that we want to, provide a good shopping experience. I want to do, everything good for these consumers. So I think, I mentioned, the technology earlier, right? Especially, AI and the blockchain. Of course, one is, it's the current trend, right? Every business, no matter what, which industry they're in, everyone wants to adopt, the AI, want to, utilize blockchain to, further strengthen their business. We're no different, right? So we see, for example, AI on both the front-facing, consumer-facing, and back-end. We can benefit a lot. For example, front-facing, the AI would be able to do tailored promotions, AI-driven product recommendations, dynamic pricing, all of that we don't see a lot of players in our world adopting or doing right now, and we see there's a big opportunity for us to take a step forward to take on that advantage. For backend, of course, for grocery business, inventory management is always a headache, is always something very important to the business. And I think by empowering AI technology and all the solutions, we can do a lot of good things on demand forecasting, inventory management, to further kind of improve the efficiency and also drive the profitability. On the other side, blockchain, one of the use cases very common in our world is the traceability. People always talk about the food safety, right? You want to know where your food is, your product is sourced, and blockchain actually provide the capability to do that, to trace the source, so like where exactly your product is sourced from. And I think having that capability always provide additional assurance to the consumer that they know they shop safely in our stores. Another way is to build the loyal customer program. So because we have stores across the the territory, and sometimes we have different brands, right? In California we call it HK Good Fortune. In Arizona, after acquisition, we decide to remain the regional name Lidi International. But I think having the blockchain, having a blockchain-enabled loyalty program would further build the trust, the consumer stickiness, and also provide a smooth, transition inter stores.
Yeah, it is fascinating on the tech angle because where you don't compete with a Walmart or Amazon,
right?
The consumer today is expecting sort of that level of personalization, and I think there's a lot of things going on even in the major grocery stores we go to that we don't see. Dynamic pricing, the way things are on the shelf, and so if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're basically doing is building and bringing like a more modern infrastructure to these specialty stores, and making sure the consumer experience matches other tech-enabled places, but with that, while still maintaining what's really special about them and the reason people go there, which is seemingly getting goods and products that you can't get elsewhere.
Exactly. It's because the whole Maison story is about transformation, meaning, we maintain the core value of our business, which is to serve our customer, but also transform the way we operate store from a more of a, the traditional way to a modernized, tech enabled way to cater, today's customers.
And then for a high level overview of how the business works, for investors who might not be invested in similar businesses as your own, what is sort of the economic model here? What do the margins look like? How should they think about when you guys have earnings and other reports? What metrics should they be paying attention to really understand the health and growth of the business?
So traditionally, the grocery business is a thin margin, high revenue business model. It works for almost every grocery stores in the nation. So I think that the most obvious growth you can see, from year over year, and growth is the sales, right? Which is the core of the business, to sell products, right? We one of the key strategies for us to continue to grow is continued acquisition. Like mentioned earlier, we're looking at stores proven with with proven profitability, which can inject positive financially immediately, right? So I think over year, if the consumer sees, for example, the next earning comes out, after the acquisition, they're going to see a very big change in the total sales. Gross margin is another key metric that being viewed in our industry. For example, just using our latest earnings, as an example. So we've seen, 1.3%, I think, increase over the prior year. That means, that tells me that, our operations is going better. Is there any, still room to improve? Of course, there's always room to improve, but, we're working diligently to achieve that goal. Profitability is another thing, especially in today's, capital markets environment. People always say, I've talked with investors. They say, hey, I want to invest in, profitable companies. And, I think through our model, through our business, we prove that, we are profitable, profitability, capable. We continue to operate the stores in a profitable manner. So I think these are some of the key metrics the investor could, pay more attention to.
And you've been at this conference a few hours. I know there's a whole other day, but I'm sure you've been having a lot of conversations with investors, both here and other times. I'm curious when, what you're describing to me, I'm like, okay, intuitive, makes sense. For people who might not get what your message is, or might be missing sort of the main point of the story, what's sort of that misconception that some people might have when you first talk to them? And what would you say to that person to really allow them to understand the bigger picture of Maison?
So I would say two things. One, usually, when I first talk with the investor would say, grocery stores, right? Like it's not your typical, technology. It's not your typical pharmaceutical company. So what story can there be, right? There, as we, discussed so far, there are actually a lot of exciting opportunity. There are exciting, uh, uh, business that we can do, right? So I think that's the message I want to deliver to all the investors or potential investors out there. It's actually a very good industry, especially now we're at a kind of transformation period where a lot of the last generational grocery stores, they have to, they're at the point they have to make the change, right? Otherwise, they can't stay in the business forever. And that's exactly the opportunity where we can come in to leverage all this, exciting, technologies, opportunities to turn that around. And I think, if we finally achieve that, it's going to be also a good story compared with, the tech breakthrough, the pharmaceutical, companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the straightforward narrative though that gets people in. And you talked about AI and blockchain too, so you can have it both ways.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to the rest of this year into next year, you mentioned M&A. That sounds like something you guys are constantly doing. When you're talking to internal teams, there's probably a lot going on. What are the top 2-3 things that they're really focused on to get you guys to the next level that you're trying to get to in 2026?
So one would be, continue to actively look for acquisition opportunities because, that's, I think our acquisition made in 2024 proved to the market that this is, accepted and this has the potential to scale. So we want to continue to go out there, look for the good opportunities to, bring value to the shareholders, and also achieve, highest return on investment. Internal improvement continues to be a key agenda for next year. Even though our stores in Arizona, perform pretty well, we do see challenges in California side, especially, there increased competition. We want to, continue to do all the necessary initiatives internally to improve the California performance. And of course, technology is always something in our heart. We want to implement as much as we can to further strengthen our advantages.
And quick follow-up out of curiosity, when you eye a potential acquisition target, you meet the team, feels good. From that initial meeting to the point where they're fully part of Maison Holdings, what's the calendar? How many months does that normally take? Is that a quick process for the grocery industry, or is that something that takes a few months?
So as you can probably expect, the answer would be it depends.
Yeah.
Because there's no. So yes, there's a general process of how you do how you acquire things, right? But depends on the size, depends on the complexity. It always varies. So we've seen opportunities that like a single store acquisition, right?
Yeah.
It could one location, very simple business model. I don't think it's going to take more than maybe like a month or two.
Yeah. Send them a new sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there are larger deals like the one we did in 2024. The Lily one, it has 3 stores, right? And then it has all the different landlords. It's not the single landlord we're dealing with. And then they're like a complex structure. Depends on what the seller wants. Some of the seller they just want to leave, right? Give me the money,
right?
And
They're
call
retiring.
it a day.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other sellers they just want it's not like they want to completely leave the business. but they want to join a bigger boat to grow together. So, then you start seeing, there's a cash deal, there's like a stock deal,
Yeah.
there's a combination.
Interesting.
So the structure will be different. So it could take months. So
Yeah.
it really depends.
So probably you guys bouncing a lot of things on different timelines all at once just to keep the system moving.
All the time.
Fascinating stuff. I hope to visit one of the stores soon. They sound great. This is Chris Zhang, of course, VP of Corporate Strategy and Development from Maison. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your time at the Gateway Conference.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.